Hello everyone, this is Xanasham from Ghostlands EU on my level 22 now Undead LP Hunter, and this is episode 10 of the playthrough. For this video we're mostly just going to be doing the dungeon that I've forgotten the name of, Silverpine something. We'll see it now anyway. We're doing a few quests here regarding actually handling quests to, or giving quests to these not very nice characters. One is kind of an idiot, one is kind of boastful but doesn't really have anything to boast about, and the other is a blood elf who gets mistaken for a female quite regularly in Hillsbrad Foothills, which is the zone we're going to be going to in the next part. But in this part we are going to the dungeon that's apparently going to pop up now. Well, first off, I better say, I'm no marksmanship now, so people were saying that it's much more fun to be marksmanship rather than beast mastery, and beast mastery doesn't really get useful until past level 60, so I've decided to change to marksmanship, which is why I now have a nice aim shot and different talent. And I think one of my talents gives me an improved speed bonus after using steady shot a few times, and I'm not quite sure what the other talents did. I wasn't really paying that much attention to the talents. But we're doing this dungeon now. Damn it! Why do I always forget the name of this dungeon? It's Shadowfang Keep. It's kind of a it's a dungeon I've done tons of times, so I really should remember the name of it. We're gonna have a lot of changes to the group composition. Our tank is gonna leave. Our healer's gonna leave, I think. And if we were a DPS, one of our DPS just left. Well, actually, I think our healer left. Yeah, our healer left, and then we get a new healer here, and then eventually our tank is going to leave halfway through the instance, which isn't that fun. And I also get told to turn my pet off aggressive when it clearly isn't even on aggressive the entirety of the run. To be fair though, if you see me playing a hunter very, very badly, this is the first time I've logged in months and I haven't never played a hunt before. So there is going to be one pull where I'll accidentally pull, and I didn't realise how ridiculous it is and how easy it is for hunters to accidentally pull mobs. It's mostly just because of the fact that you auto-attack, so when you click on a mob that's far away and you try and put a hunter's mark, you accidentally manage to attack them, which is not something that's very, very nice, but it's something that does happen, and no one died, so I can be forgiven for it. Anyway. There's the turn pet off aggressive. This is the first this is the first boss, which seems to be quite actually evil and very, very hard for a first boss. I.e., as you just saw, we all got our HP taken down to very, very low health. But we managed to survive and it's perfectly fine. And I was the highest DPS, so yes, yes. I was the highest DPS in a level 22 raid. Well, actually, I'm level 23 now. Level 23 dungeon. Yes. Okay. Our tank does pull a lot of mobs initially, but eventually he gets the idea that you shouldn't do it, but for some reason he does change to a two-hander for some reason. To be honest, at lower levels I really don't question it, because if you just try and question and say to someone how they play, they usually get a bit annoyed and then they start pulling random mobs and you just act like dickheads, so if you try and tell someone how to play at lower levels, eventually, well, you won't really get anything out of it. They won't immediately start learning how to play the game. And the other thing is, people generally don't like to be told they're doing something wrong. And generally, whenever I see it in lower level dungeons, what happens is that the others who are telling people how to play usually act in a very aggressive and demeaning manner, which makes the person who doesn't know how to play even less likely to listen to you, which isn't a very good thing. And considering we were dealing with it quite fine, we did get a few deaths in this run, but no like wipes, meaning it was a smooth run through. If you don't have to have a mass wipe and you just have to res a few people, I consider that a smooth run at lower levels. And considering the quality of tanks at lower levels isn't particularly good because no one levels as protection, even though I kind of should do now, because protection as a warrior is kind of a fun spec we're leveling, I've heard, so there's no real reason not to. But now he's using a DPS. I don't know why. Maybe he thinks it does more DPS and then it does more rage or something. I'm not quite sure. Maybe he just wanted to be a two-hander, wanted to pretend to be something of a. Wanted to pretend he didn't know what he was doing, but it didn't really matter that much. Nothing bad happened. I did almost die here because somehow I managed to pull the boss. So that's what happens when you don't actually take protection. You just immediately take damage. And considering I just used I didn't even use an aim shot. If I use an aim shot, I can understand. Well, if you use an aim shot as your first shot when with a tank using a two-hander, that basically means you're an idiot and you deserve to die. But my shot was just a serpent sting, so yeah, there wasn't really enough aggro to justify that. But nah, nothing really happened. We'd managed to kill the second boss. Yes, I wasn't really paying attention to the actual lore behind this dungeon because it hasn't got improved lore. There does seem to be an orc general in here, and there seems to be undead. I'm not really sure. Godfrey's at the end, so I think that the undead were trying to clear this place out to make it like a new base. But then Godfrey did something and killed some of the Forsaken. I'm not quite sure what actually happened in this place, but we are kind of clearing it out and killing all the previous bosses. Yeah. For lower level bosses, they don't actually hurt that hard. They've got some interesting mechanics, so I don't really have any problem with the bosses. This one seems to do an area of effect, death and decay, and some sort of evil purple fire thing in front of him, but he only did that once, which I assume that does something, but doesn't really do that much. Yep. Something about a plague. I wasn't really paying it. If you can pause the video just enough to see the quest text, you can understand what's actually going on in this dungeon. But really, it's just a dungeon, so the real thing that's going on is there are bosses. You kill them for loot. The rest of it is trash. You just kill it for experience. If you can avoid it, and if you can't, just kill them. Yes, there's also a in this place here where the tank's standing in front of. There is sometimes a rare boss, but he didn't appear in this instance. I'm going to briefly talk about my new hunter abilities that I managed to get at level 22 actually after or 21 or 22, I'm not quite sure when you actually get abilities now. I don't know if it's in odd numbers or even numbers. But yeah, I managed to get Disengage, which is bound to my X key, which I don't think is that useful of an ability in PvE environments, but you have to be very careful of it, because it actually vaults you back, which is quite a good way of getting out of combat. But as you probably saw there, I managed to pull some mobs, and this is when a tank decides to leave after jumping out of the instance, which wasn't very fun. We managed to get a new tank almost instantly though, which is kind of fun and quite well, it wasn't really fun, it was just kind of really unexpected you get a tank that quickly, considering tanks should be not as... There shouldn't be that many tanks at lower levels, but somehow we managed to get one instantly after the last one left, which this one actually is using a two-hander too, but I'm really just not questioning it at this point. When you probably get to level 30, level 40 instances, when a tank's using a two-hander, that might get a little bit annoying. But I'm not going to question it at level 25 and level 22. Yes. Okay, these used to be Worgen. I remember this place used to be all Worgen, now it's all undead and creeper things. Yes, in the previous incarnation. Now this is the new incarnation of the new Shadowfang Keep after Cataclysm. Yes. Okay, what's in here? Yep, Lord Walden. This is one of the guys that this is one of the guys we were doing quests with in the previous video to deal with the final human presence in Silverpine Highlands. No, Silverpine Forest. Now this guy is now dead, and Godfrey is the last person we need to kill. And then all that trio that we were helping burn down the village in the previous video will be dead by our hand. Yes, Godfrey. Oh yeah, the other ability I've got is bound to my Z key, is the scatter shot, which you throw some sort of rock at the enemy and it causes them to be dazed for 4 seconds, but I think it gets all your aggro back on you afterwards, so it's not really an aggro reducing ability. But what I've noticed as marksmanship as well is after I've got aim shot, is it does a freaking load of damage. Like it does 300 to 600 crits, which is insane, I think, at this level. But it does take kind of a while to it takes kind of a while to aim the shot. It takes longer to use the shot than the other shots I've got, which means it takes... Which I don't know if it's actually better DPS, just use arcane shot and steady shot at this level, but I'm not really worrying with DPS because having massive crits at this level is just funny and just fun to do. And for some reason, I have poison. Okay, this is Lord Godfrey. He doesn't really do much. He summons some mobs of undead, but they die quite quickly, just do AoE. And the other thing he does is a pistol barrage, which I think you need to move out of, but it doesn't really do much damage, so you probably could stay in it and you wouldn't die. And there we go. Shadowfang Keep has now been completed, and I get a nice upgrade. I think I get some nice shoulders from here. Yeah, Shadowfang shoulders, some agility, some stamina, and some crit, I think. which is very good. Now I have a lot of blues. You get a ridiculous amount of blues we're leveling now. It's completely different in Cataclysm. Okay, where are we going now? I don't know. I'm just deciding just to be AFK for some reason. Oh, but yeah, this is when my actual mouse got stuck. And, yeah, I could only, like, turn the camera. I couldn't actually move. Okay, the quest we're doing here is called Glorious Harvest. We need to collect 60 creeper eggs. And the other thing is just to kill 8 infested bears. They're basically the same quests, though, because you have to collect the eggs off the top of the plague bears. And for some reason, you have to click every single time. So you have to repeatedly click on the bears' corpses in order to get the eggs. I don't know why the undead are using very hostile bears to farm their creeper eggs on the back of them or incubate them. It doesn't seem like the best strategy. But maybe the infested bears, there's a reason for them, and maybe the creeper hatched spiders come out of the eggs and then slowly eat the infected flesh, and that's kind of really creepy. But I'm going to leave you there with that. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked this video. I hope to see you in the next part of the World of Warcraft Cataclysm Let's Play on my undead level 23 hunter now, which will probably be level 24 in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Hope you liked this video. If you want to like the video, please like. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, there's a link in the description below. Thank you for watching. Peace out.